The Maltese vegan. So I'm gonna make a pumpkin pie without using pumpkin, using butternut squash. I hope I have enough. It's just an impromptu dish. Thing is, I already made one, I already ate it, and I decided I want to make another one. I've got the bowl over here, that's why it's dirty in fact, because I just used it. I just didn't say cleaning it, and reuse the same bowl. I've got half a cup of spelt flour. You could use any flour, any normal flour really, as long as it's got some gluten in it. And here's 7 tablespoons of white fine plain flour. What's important, as I said, is that you have gluten in it. It doesn't have to be that. It shouldn't be a gluten-free base, in my opinion. So I put half a teaspoon of, well, you're meant to put a half teaspoon of salt, but I actually just drew a pinch. And you're meant to use half a teaspoon of brown sugar, but I'm actually using a full teaspoon of brown sugar to carb load the dish as much as possible. Then you need half a teaspoon of baking powder. I really don't like using the stuff because it's quite unhealthy, but I guess you need it. But at least I put half the normal amount. So I skipped a few steps, but all you missed was the fact that I mashed 3/4 of a banana. I actually microwaved it so that it would be more mashable and becomes more liquid. And I use that to replace the olive oil which you're supposed to add, in fact. So you end up with 3 tablespoons of mashed banana. Then I added 5 tablespoons of rice milk or soy. You could also add soy milk, and about 5 tablespoons of water. You keep mixing till you get this ball of pastry, and then you can wrap it in cling film, put it in the fridge while you're preparing the pumpkin pie filling. So now to make the pumpkin pie filling, I'm just gonna blend all the ingredients, starting with the first ingredient, that's butternut squash, replacing the pumpkin pie. It's about 2 cups. So you need 1 cup of rice milk or soy milk. And then you can pour that in with the butternut squash, in this case in my dirty blender. Now I've got 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. It's also got some molasses, so that gives a bit of more taste, and I don't know, it gives a bit of a warm pumpkin pie kind of feeling. Goes well with the spices. So you need to put 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch or corn flour, 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence, a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ground ginger, and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. Don't forget to flour your surface so that doesn't happen. I lined the base with flour instead of oil so that the pastry itself won't stick as much. That way I'm minimizing the oil content of the dish itself. So here's the rolled out pastry. You have to keep, one tip is that you have to keep flouring the roller pin, the pastry, the surface over and over, making sure that it never sticks to the roller pin and never sticks to your hand and never sticks to the surface. It doesn't have to be pretty. I mean, this is, yeah, cooking is an art, but finding it's an art for your taste buds rather than how it looks. And anyway, you're gonna put it in a round dish and it'll end up looking round anyway, so don't need to bother much with the looks. In fact, here's the finished product. Still doesn't look as pretty, but trust me, once it's out of the oven, you'll love it. Just fix it a bit, maybe try and make it as even as possible around the edges, but even that isn't as important. Just make sure you don't have any cracks which let the filling, let's say, escape the pastry itself. Don't forget to preheat the oven at 218 degrees Celsius, and while that's preheating, I'm gonna pour the mixture. As you can see, it's quite thick, as you want it to be. Just keep pouring till it reaches the lower part of the edges in the crust, so that you make sure it doesn't overflow. In fact, I seem to have measured just right, and it's perfect. And into the oven it goes. So 20 minutes at 218 degrees, as I told you, but after that you can lower it to about 175 Celsius for about 40, maybe 45 minutes. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and click the subscribe button below if you want to keep watching my videos.